Hey everyone, Chris, the Thrift Shop Hustler, decided I was actually going to do a live show today, right now, about what sold on eBay. It's been a while since I did a live show. I have no idea when the last time I did a live show was, so definitely appreciate the support from the last previous live shows. I want to wish everyone a happy New Year. It is New Year's Eve. I decided to just take a final what sold on eBay video today on my personal stuff, as there's going to be huge changes here in 2019, and actually we'll talk a little bit about that right now. Let me just make sure that everything is on the up and up here. Yes, everything's looking good. Yeah, I wish everyone a happy new year. I hope everyone had an amazing year of reselling. It has been quite the journey for me, most definitely, over this year. Lost my job that I had for 15 years in July, and tried to do eBay and a bunch of other things full time, and that was a little crazy for me to do, most definitely. And so try to do the reselling thing full time, and had a pretty good swing at it because I have a lot of other sources of income, other revenue streams, and I definitely highly suggest someone that does reselling full time not to just put all your eggs in one basket. I mean, I dabbled in Poshmark, merch by Amazon, all the cryptocurrency things that I did, and cryptocurrencies have been a little bit of a rocky road this year, but we're holding on strong, and I still believe in the technology. But definitely eBay sales have been was a huge part of the income coming in. So I've been doing eBay since 1995, and it was really cool to see um, all that kind of stuff, definitely help in the time of need. Being unemployed for a job that I had for 15 years was something that was very new to me, as I worked pretty much every day since I was 15. I mean, I had side hustles when I was like 8 years old, but what I'm saying is that, of course, I've had a job ever since I was 15, so it's kind of a weird stretch to do this kind of stuff full time for sure. It was actually a pretty crazy experience. But I did recently get hired full time working for a major charity running their eBay business, and we're going to do a lot more videos on that in 2019. That should be a very interesting video series. So if you're not a part of that, if you're not subscribed, definitely go down there and hit the subscribe button. Another milestone, we hit 5,000 subscribers this year. That was crazy. Building this channel has been pretty nuts, especially since I haven't been, creating content every day like I was used to. There was a lot of stuff that was just keeping me away from that. Definitely doing stuff on Steemit and things like that for sure. Let's jump into the chat real quick. We got Aaron Rosner here. What is up, man? I really appreciate it. So let's get into what sold on eBay. Once again, this is going to be the last time you're probably going to see what I sold on eBay. I'm going to transition to what this other eBay store that I sold, that I'm going to help this charity. And like I said, there's going to be more information about that. I'm not ready for that big reveal and all that stuff. So this is probably going to be the last time that you see my personal items on what sold on eBay, unless there's a particular item that I thought was relevant in the whole thing, for sure. So let's get right into it. I'm going to try to be able to read the chat and do this all at once. It's really hard to do when you're doing these shows and going back and forth. So I do apologize for sure. Let's see here. So first item we got, this is actually a really crazy item to begin with. This is called the Suzuki Omnicord OM84. It is a really kind of crazy, it's like an electronic harp. That's all I can really say. There was a lot of kind of research that had to go into actually finding out about this. This was picked up at a local thrift shop for $5. It was considered broken, and I had to end up taking it apart and fixing it. There was a few wires that needed to be resoldered. I had to get an AC adapter for it. There was a lot of work. No, I wouldn't say a lot of work, but there was a pretty good amount of work that had to go in to make this like fully functional and back to 100% again. And so that was that. This is actually a pretty crazy instrument. If you go to YouTube, there's a couple of artists that actually do some pretty crazy music using this thing. And like I said, uh, it's an electronic harp. It's very niche. It's an incredible machine. And if some of you ever seen this, definitely leave a comment below if you've ever found these. When I showed this on Instagram, there was a couple people that have seen this before, but it's a very niche thing. It was something that I never seen before myself. Hey, we got reseller niche in the chat. What's up, man? How are you doing? I've been listening to your guys' podcast. I really appreciate the content that you guys create. So, anyways, back to this Omnichord. This is a super crazy instrument, brand new. I've never seen any of these actually sold brand new. I can imagine if you had one of these sealed in a box, it could probably go for 5, 6, 700, $800. This one used, I want to say I took a best offer for like 225 on this. Like I said, I paid $5 for it. It did come with the instruction book. I had to repair it, and thank God I have a little bit of electronic kind of background. I used to actually build lightsabers, not real lightsabers, but I used to build uh, mock lightsabers. And that's a whole other story. As a matter of fact, I should pull out some of those old videos. You guys would trip out. That stuff's not on this channel. But anyways, I have a little bit of electronic background, so I was able to resolder some of the things. You don't really need a electronics background to do soldering, but the key is you have to know what wire goes where because you don't want to short or anything like that. But anyways, this sold to a customer via the global shipping program, and I definitely highly suggest anyone that has the option to turn the global shipping program on, definitely do that. I don't ship international, and I know a lot of people give me a hard time about that because they're like international sales is a pretty good part of my sales throughout the year. For me, I've just had too many problems with people internationally that I just don't want the headache anymore. And so I just turn on the global shipping program, which is basically an international customer buys from you, and then there's a third party that mediates the shipping. So you ship to Kentucky, and then Kentucky ships to the international buyer. You don't worry about any of the crazy custom forms and things like that. So there is that. But anyways, this was probably one of the best things I sold in December as far as profit margin. So definitely look out, keep an eye out for the Omnichord for sure. It's pretty crazy thing here. Next up, we have this San Diego Comic-Con Steam Monsters promo cards. For those that don't know, I am the social media director for Steam Monsters and created a lot of these promo cards for them. And this one happened to be the very first one that we made. We only made 100 of these. Most of these were sent to the San Diego Comic-Con to what were the guys' name? The UCC distribution booth. They handed these out to customers that purchased items. So there's only 100 of these in existence, and I kept a few of these for my personal collection. And I've noticed that there's been a huge uptick in promo cards, people buying Steam Monsters promo cards that we produced. And so I decided, hey, why don't I put a couple of these online? And they've been pretty good sellers. But anyways, I just want to show you guys that there's definitely cards are still alive and well. Next up, we have this fortune-telling playing cards deck. This was actually pretty cool. It's I don't want to say it's tarot cards. They're pretty much like playing cards, as you can see here. But they're from, I want to say these were from the 50s or the 60s, but they were sealed still in their packages. And I saw there was a pretty good amount of these at the thrift shop. They were for sale for like $1 each. And I ended up picking up this one and a couple other ones. The couple other ones were a dud. Those didn't even sell. As a matter of fact, I should probably relist those right now after this show. But definitely, this was actually sold. I took a best offer for $49.99 on this, and it was actually a really cool pickup. So I'm always looking into cards. I don't know how this thing about cards. Baseball cards is what started me off in 1988. That was actually I should say in 1986, around that area, is when I sold my first kind of collectibles. I was 6 years old. Was into Garbage Pail Kids around 1986, 1987. And then I got into baseball cards in 1988, and that just like my reselling career just basically started from all that. So I have a really crazy infinity towards cards, collecting cards, playing cards, postcards, lobby cards, any kind of cards. I really like to get down and learn something about them. But Paid $1 for this, and it was a pretty cool pickup and a really cool set. Like the used ones of these were going for like $30 or $40. So I mean, I took a best offer for $49.99. For me, I paid $1 for it, and it was just the quick flip to just get it out of my inventory, because that's another big thing I'm gonna try to work on in 2019, is to be able to move my inventory faster instead of waiting, for that $99 sale. I just want to get rid of it. As long as I double and triple my money, I should be okay. Speaking of baseball cards, this was pulled the other day. This was a refractor card from Bowman Chrome. And like I said, I'm still into baseball cards and things like that. I think 2018, I really started to get back into the whole thing. Now, the pack that these came in actually cost $18, so it's a little bit of a gamble. I kind of knew what I was doing when I was kind of, it's like I said, it's pretty much a gamble. But there was just like this some feeling. I was just like, oh, I'm gonna buy this pack today. Of course, there was a purple autograph in there, and I think I took a best offer for $49.99 on this, so it wasn't a bad turnaround. I highly suggest no one get into no one get into baseball cards, thinking you're gonna make money. But I just wanted to show that I had some really lucky pulls this year, so I wanted to show some of the ones that were from December. Let's get into this other one. Next up, we have this also another card. This one sold. I took a best offer for this for like $120. This was another $18 pack. Like I said, I got lucky with these ones this year, so it was definitely something cool to show you guys. I don't want to get really into the baseball cards because you will lose money. Don't think like you're just going to come in and buy packs and make money. I was extremely lucky this year. My daughter pulled like a $250 card earlier in the summer, which was cool because it helped pay for some of her school supplies for after summer break. So that, or what should I say, for the next year. So that was actually really cool. Next up, we have this Anna Lee 70s Rudolph and Santa. This actually is kind of large. I want to say the Santa stood at about 18 inches on that, and this was actually bought at what do you call it here? This was actually purchased at 1 second. I got to figure out what this. So this one was sold at a Goodwill, and I got some. I gotta turn this off real quick. Sorry, I was like beeping and bopping in there. Yeah, this was purchased at a Goodwill for $13. I think whoever sold this thought that this set came together, but actually Santa and Rudolph are separate. This was from the 70s. I think the Santa was from the 80s. Yeah, Rudolph was from 1982 and Santa was from 1978, or the reverse of that. And so I bought this. I knew what they were. For those that don't know, Annalise used to be way, 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 way more expensive in the 90s. They've really fallen off, like plates, like collector's plates. Don't even mess with collector's plates, to be honest. Stay away from that. Annalise stuff is still really not that. These things, if I sold these in the 90s, could have easily went for $200 or $300. This sold for $62.99 plus $29.99 shipping. It was a huge box that this needed to ship in. Technically, I guess I could have shipped these in a poly mailer, like a huge one that I have, but I respect the condition and the collectability of these, so I definitely shipped it in a box for sure. I just want to give a shout out to everyone here. Definitely appreciate watching. If you're watching this on the back end, definitely click the like button. That helps the show for sure, and the program. If you're watching live, definitely click the subscribe and like button. I really appreciate all your guys' support with that. So let's get right into the next item here. So actually look out for Annalise. I'll show you guys what the tags look like. I'm not sure I actually took a photo of the actual tag, but I will say when you see this face, Annalise all have this particular style of face. They almost look like cartoon characters. They're very unique. The ones that you're mostly going to find are going to be like 6 to 7 inch figures. This one happened to be a large one. So as a matter of fact, I think my next video, and I'm going to write this down, and that's another thing for 2019 I want to do, is make more know your stuff videos. There's like so much stuff that I want to talk about that I know about. Annalise are one of them because I used to work actually at a hobby shop in the early 2000s, and that's a whole other story in itself. Next up, we have the Smashing Pumpkins vinyl record. This is actually, I want to say this might have been, I don't know, this wasn't the import one. This was actually kind of a rare Smashing Pumpkins stuff. I'm still finding actually pretty good records, LPs at the thrift shop. It's hard to actually come by some of them sometimes, but this one was actually a pretty rare one. I scanned these all into Amazon. Uh, a pro tip for everyone that's like, well, there's records, and I don't really, how do I look these up? Do I have to look these up on eBay? One of the easiest things that you can do is get the Amazon Seller app on your phone, and it actually has smart technology where it'll actually, you can take a picture of the cover and it'll actually will show you listings. And so that's one of the best things. I use Discogs also to verify certain items because Discogs is basically like, how do I explain what Discogs is? Discogs is pretty much like where all the LP and CD collectors go to purchase and sell. It's a very niche thing. But anyways, if you go there to Discogs, you can actually find very true values of something that say, like let's say something says it's $100 on Amazon, and you go to Discogs to double check it, it'll actually verify like are collectors really buying this for $100, or if it's just someone that happens to have that record and no others are listings, because that actually happens too, where someone has a book that hasn't been listed on Amazon forever, and they're only one on there, and they list it for $500 when they can get it for, $10 on eBay. There's a lot of that. But anyways, back to the story. I have shipping boxes for LPs and plastics for LPs, like kind of like poly mailers for these, not poly mailers, poly bags for these, especially for LPs, because there was a certain point where I got like 1,000 LP collection like last year, and I bought supplies because I did sell a good amount of singles. But I'm kind of going off on a little bit here. But indie rock, alternative rock from the 90s does pretty well with LPs. So definitely look up those bands if you ever come across them for sure. Let's see we here. Reseller niche is saying I always had issues trying to grade used records properly. Hey, welcome the truth. Happy New Year to you too. I'll tell you what I do, and I'm not no expert or anything. As a matter of fact, every time I make record videos, there's always one of those record guys that comes in and kind of destroys everything that I say. Um, but what I do is there's essentially three items to a record. There's the sleeve, there's the inner sleeve, and there's the record. The thing that the people care about the most is the actual record. So what Reseller Niche is saying is to grade the record is the actual record. What I do is I pull it out. I look to see if there's any heavy scratches, because some collectors, or actually people that just use or use these for just listening to music, sometimes we'll stack them up on each other, just the records without no sleeves, and they can get wear from that. And what you do is you basically take the record out. If it looks like there's no scratches, no dust, no anything, it's usually like near mint, and then you can go from there. One of the things that I try to do is I don't try to grade it necessarily. I always say that the vinyl has some light scratches, even if it's mint, because you always want to downgrade. Vinyl record collectors are very picky about condition because they actually want to listen to these things, and just I always downgrade the condition just so I cover myself. But yeah, that's pretty much what I do. Don't grade it on the cover, grade it on the actual record. Like I said, you have to do it for a while to understand, but you can pretty much tell what's mint, what's near mint, what's good, what's excellent, if you do it enough, and what's poor. There are some records that I find like this that if they were totally just destroyed, I would never even buy them because, to my knowledge, I don't think you can resurface records. Maybe technology is out there where you could fix those things, but once a record is destroyed, once it's warped, I think that's another thing is warping. You don't want to put these in the sun. You don't want to store these stacked on each other. You want to put these up like a book on a bookshelf, because the pressure of a bunch of records sitting on each other ruins the record. So definitely store them sideways. I think I pretty much went on a little bit of rant on that. So there you go. There you go. So there you go. Where am I? So next item is this Polly Pocket item. Polly Pocket is a very good bolo, especially if you can find them mint on card. It was a 90s kind of like action figure thing, and they were little tiny figures. I wonder if I can zoom in here. They were little tiny figures that came in a little locket. Sometimes they came in a little house that you can wear around your neck. And it was very popular back in the 90s, and they're very hard to find in mint on cards. So if you ever see these at a garage sale or even loose, a collection of these. Now they did produce this throughout the 90s, throughout the 2000s. So you gotta kind of know what you're looking at if you're buying these loose. The newer ones still do okay, but you really want to look at the stuff for the early 90s. This would happen to be in 1991. The package was a little warped on this. I wish this was mint condition. The bubbles tend to yellow over the years because of the chemical content and the UV storage and all that kind of stuff. So ideally, just like vintage Star Wars figures, you want to find these with the best possible clear plastic, and obviously mint condition cards, which are the cardboard backers that these things are on. This one happened to just be this one was totally a mess. And as a matter of fact, this sold for $12.50, which was like nothing. This had free shipping. I don't know why I put free shipping on this. As a matter of fact, I did it. I put it in the title or the auction too. But anyways, I should have actually put this for $39.99 with like $5.99 shipping or $3.99 shipping as a buy it now with best offer, and went from there. I thought that this would have went for a lot more. That's why I did the bidding thing, and it was just a stupid idea. But anyways, I still made money. I think I paid like $2 at a church kind of rummage sale for this thing. It was actually kind of cool to find. Next up, we have this Frank Sinatra CD. Another thing that you can do is, like I said, I have different apps that can scan CDs. Unfortunately for me, I'm gated in popular music, so I can only send in certain CDs, which is very unfortunate now that I have access to thousands of CDs a month. And that's another story all in itself. Um, I should have been sending in CDs ever since I started Amazon. I think they started to gate people like 2 years ago or a year and a half ago. And I did send in CDs when I first started Amazon because it was ungated for everyone for a certain amount of time. And then I think there was a lot of kind of scammers that kind of, were uh, kind of saying certain CDs were way better condition than they were. And I think that's the cause of why they gated a lot of people on this. They were just weeding out all the bad actors, and just basically people that were making tons of money on CDs were the ones that were pretty much kept in the thing and through sales and all that stuff. But anyways, I digress. This was a 25-cent CD. This CD, I've seen this CD sell as high as $80, but it sold on a sale, 40% off sale for $23.99 there. And I think it's Annette Moto Biker saying, "Dang, that's old school." I think you were talking about the Polly Pocket. But anyways, this was actually a good CD. It was in mint condition and sold for $23.99. So CDs are still relevant. Uh, Definitely, if you can send them into Amazon, is something that's pretty cool too. But this was sold on eBay because I couldn't send this into Amazon. Next up, we have this new old stock shop back paper filters. One of the things that I kind of look for whenever I'm in any thrift shop or any garage sale are things that are sealed, and definitely look out for anything that's sealed: filters, batteries. Geez, there's so many things that I can make a video on that just about things that are sealed that are kind of like in this kind of genre. But anyways, I think I bought like there was a pack of 5 of these for $1 at a thrift shop. I scanned the back of these and saw that these were going for like, 11, 10, 12, $15 each on eBay. And I was like, bang, score. So I did ended up selling all these for I sold a few of them for $11.99 with free shipping because they were light. I think they were under like 3 ounces. So anyways, I did pretty well on these. I think it was like 5 for $1. I sold a few of them for like $8 on a sale. But these sold very, very fast. So definitely keep an eye out on anything new, old, and sealed. Anything. Just look it up if you're ever in the thrift shops and checking that kind of stuff out for sure. Let's see here. So I really appreciate you guys watching. We still have a lot more. We still have a lot more. As I was saying, this is probably going to be the last time I'm going to show my personal eBay sales, as we're going to be moving into a new kind of chapter in my life with reselling in 2019. And I hope you guys definitely stay around for that. That should be very, very interesting. I don't think anyone actually that I can think of will will have this kind of content. That's for sure. Um, so there's definitely that. But anyways, click the like button if you're enjoying this program so far. Let's get into the next item. Next up, we have this Real Ghostbusters animation cell. I don't even remember where I got these, but I've had these for years. Unfortunately, I think I probably should have did a buy it now on all these because they all ended up selling for under $20 when I've seen some of them with the backgrounds sell for $60 to $100. So I kind of left it up to bidding on these. A lot of these only went for like I said, under $20. This was probably the best one out of the lot. Um, when I look back at this, I probably should have did $100 on this and then put it as a buy it now. It is a 3 cell item. So Slimer's 1 cell. Some of the money was another cell, and then some of the background money was another cell. This was actually a very cool cell. I don't even remember where I got these from. I think I bought a huge lot of these sometime in the early 2000s and I had them in a box in storage. And then when I was going through stuff in storage, I pulled these out. So and I remember paying like pennies on the dollar for these things when they came out. I might have bought a whole collection for like $10 or something ridiculous like that. But anyways, you live and you learn. So I definitely learned that I should have probably put a buy it now on these, as some of these were going for a decent amount of money. So yeah, so this was probably the best one I had out of the lot of. I think I had 10 of them or 15 of them, and the rest of them sold for under $20. So there's definitely that. Look out for cells. I know these are kind of hard to find and source and everything nowadays because everyone kind of is like, even back in the day. Don't let me get back into that. Next up, we have this Disney Pixar's Fest straw. I know what you're saying, a straw. It was kind of funny. There was a bunch of these at a thrift shop for like 25 cents or something ridiculous, and I definitely had to look them up. I think I only was able to snag 2 of these because the rest of them weren't in great condition. These ones happen to be in good condition, and in hindsight, I probably should have bought them all. These were kind of like given away as souvenirs. I think they were actually part of a cup. Anyways, these sold for $12.99 plus $2.99 shipping. I will always look up the weirdest things. I'm a sucker for anything that's sealed in a bag. I don't care what it is. I will look it up. There's been things that I sold for hundreds of dollars that I thought were going to be worth nothing. So it's just one of those gut feelings where I definitely look it up. If you guys have any questions during the show, definitely leave them in the comments or leave them in the live chat. Let me know that you're here, that you're alive, that I should still keep going with this whole thing. Definitely click the like button. So, yeah, Disney stuff is always a good seller if you can get it, source them for cheap. Next up, we have these Comic-Con exclusive Funko Pops. We've talked about Funko Pops a lot in the past. This one happened to be a Stan Lee one. I had like 4 or 5 of these put away, and I pulled them out recently, and I was going to use these for customs. For those that don't know, I used to do customs and things like that. It's not really going to be doing much of that probably in 2019, but these were purchased a long time ago, a couple years ago, to make customs. I was basically going to pop off the heads and use the heads, and thankfully I didn't use them. I kept them. I think I want to say I paid like maybe I think maybe I paid like $15 shipped for these, and I bought a case of them of 6 or something like that. Anyways, I pulled these out. I've sold these as high as $90. This was the last one I had. This one sold for $49.99. As a matter of fact, in previous episodes, I talked about the ones that were sold for $89.99, and then basically people were just pulling these out of their closets and selling them, and the price kind of went down. It was the race to the race to the bottom with these, but these are still going for in the 40, 50, $60 range. This 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 thing. Um, where do I start with this thing? It's called a Galileo. It's a robotic motion control phone. It's supposed to kind of like track you. It's not as great as it seems. When I scanned these on Amazon, I got very excited because for one, there was no sellers. For two, they were showing comps of like $200 or $300. There was four of them in the thrift shop. I made an offer to buy these. They're sealed, by the way. I made an offer to the thrift shop that I'd give them $20 each. I think they had like $40 marked on these, and they took the offer. So I picked these up for $80 for four of these. Um, the whole thing about these is, for one, they don't work with the newer iPhones. For two, you had to have a special adapter for the iPhone. This actually was, I forget what this. Oh, no, no, you had to have a special adapter for the Hero. Do I have a Hero? No, I have that over there. One of the GoPro Heroes, you needed a special adapter, and people use these more for with GoPros now, and it was just made for an iPhone, and then there was a special adapter someone made. But anyways, this sold for $79.99. I had this huge disclaimer on this because you had to like buy a special app. The app, this whole thing wasn't supported anymore by the company. This was a mess. Like, if I would have looked back at this, I probably would have saved. Well, you know what's funny is I actually sold one of these for $100 on Amazon, so I guess it was okay. Uh, this was a mess, just trying to figure out like, okay, could people use this? What are the disclaimers that I need to put in the eBay auction? Because I had to basically show them how to like modify how to modify. Oh, it was a mess. Leave a comment below if you've ever had something that you purchased that was a little crazy, a little crazy thing that you bought that you thought you made out on, but it wasn't anything. Oh, we want to give a huge shout out to Turtle Trader. It's been a long time. Happy New Year's. Thank you. Lou Hustles is in the house. The Truth Retracted. Welcome to the 24-hour marathon live show. Hit that thumbs up. But no, we're not doing 24-hour marathon. But anyways, this was something that I definitely shouldn't have bought. But you know what? I shouldn't say that because I did sell a couple of these at profit. So, but anyways, like I said, it was a huge mess. Leave a comment below if you've ever had bought something that was a huge mess. Lastly, this was another thing. I don't know why I put this up. Resellers don't want to see baseball cards. Anyways, this sold for $59.99 plus $2.99 shipping and all that stuff. You know what? I want to give you guys a huge shout out. Thanks for everyone that stopped by. Leave a like button. Leave a like button. Yeah, just leave it down there. Just click the like button if you enjoyed the show. This is probably going to be the last what's sold on eBay for my stuff, and we'll get more into that in 2019. You guys have been great. I really appreciate all the subscribers. If you're not subscribed, definitely go down there, click the subscribe button. Thank you everyone in the chat: Eric Rosner, Resell Nish, The Truth, Annette, Motobiker, Turtle Trader, Lou Hustles, and everyone who stopped by to say hello. Oh man, Reseller Niche is saying I have a half a garage of bad buys. Oh, you know what? You do this long enough, you learn, and I think everyone does that, no matter what. Thank you, The Truth, for saying great content. I really appreciate it. I want to wish everyone a happy new year, a safe, happy new year, 2019. Keep hustling, keep your head down, and the muscles moving. So, anyways, I'm Reseller here on Steemit. I'm Chris, the Thrift Shop Hustler, here on YouTube. I really appreciate you guys stopping by. Wish you a lots of love, luck, and happiness in the new year, and we'll see you next time. Take care.